everyone, my name is Laurel. If you're new to this channel, welcome. If you are looking to live a life full of joy, love, and purpose, give this video a thumbs up and make sure you subscribe to my channel to get notified when I upload next. So today I am off work, so I wanted to get a couple things done, maybe go for lunch. We'll see where the day takes us. A little cold out today, guys. The first thing we're doing is going into Walmart to return a necklace I bought because it was like really small. So anyways, I gotta return that and then potentially just grab some sushi from here, but we will see. Okay, I got my sushi, but I don't know if there's anything else I need from Walmart. So I'm gonna do a quick walk around. Okay, so back in from the store, and hopefully my glasses will defog here in a second. Ended up picking up a few extra things. So I have been craving chips for the last few days, so we got some Lay's, some Halls, and then I got a bubbly to go with the sushi, so just a cherry bubbly. To go with the dynamite roll that I picked out in Walmart. So, okay, glasses are defogged now. Anyways, I'm thinking I'm just going to head off to like a park, maybe get out and go for a little bit of a walk, and just enjoy my lunch. I've honestly just been feeling like I just wanted to get out of the house a bit, so this is gonna be nice. Something before we go for another walk. Okay, so this is what I got. It is a dynamite roll. I forgot about the avocado, but you know what? It's okay. We should be fine. It's only a small amount, so I love avocado, but I have a little bit of an allergy to it, but sometimes it is worth it. Okay, so part of the reason why I wanted to come out today is because when I went to church this past Sunday, it really inspired me to talk about my testimony a little more. Just because I really think that it can encourage maybe you today and others. Just when you hear other people's stories, like our stories have power. And I just wanted to share that with you today, just in case you're going through something and you can relate to it, and just know that honestly, you're not alone in this. Anyways, a little bit about my testimony and things. My parents divorced when I was like 4. Once they divorced, she got into a relationship and it was super abusive. He got super verbally abusive, mentally abusive. There's a couple times where he was physically abusive, and for my mom to be able to cope and things, she started drinking. And it all kind of escalated even more, but a lot of kind of neglect came out of that, and I kind of had to step up and do a lot of things and try to take care of my mom and defend them a bit. Poverty was a big thing. And then after that, you know, my mom was a single mom. She didn't work for a little bit, just because she did have 3 kids and then 4. It just did not leave us off in a very well financial manner, I guess. So it was really difficult growing up when you can't participate in most things just because of money. So I definitely know what it's like to fall, you know, through the cracks and things. And back then, again, we were not Christian. So honestly, the type of people that we were around, they were alcoholics, a little bit violent and dangerous, and those type of things were a threat from them. You feel like your safety was at risk. Honestly, looking back now, I didn't think that I was that bad of a kid before we were Christian, but from someone else's perspective, I realized that I was actually quite the instigator, and I was bossy. I started fights. I kind of was mean, and I didn't even realize that before, because sometimes when you do that change, you realize that you had some of those morals and those values to begin with, but some of them maybe not, and that's something that I'm really thankful for since becoming Christian. But anyways, that first relationship that my mom was in, we were with them for like, I think it was about 7 years, but once that finally ended, there's another person that my mom went out with, and it was, again, the exact same situation. But at that point, it was so chaotic and so hard to be a functioning teenager at that point. I was 14 and I was in grade 9, and it was very, very hard for me to attend school. Half the time I didn't go. It's not that I just dropped out and went and hung out with other people, it's just I didn't go. And same with my siblings, we just did not go to school. So I was 14 in grade 9, and I almost started looking for attention in the wrong places, and really would have put my safety at risk. And I'm very glad that it didn't, because my mom's boyfriend got invited to a baptism. He didn't go to church, but his friend did, and was getting baptized, so he invited him, and then also invited my mom to go with him. So they went, and then my mom got invited to a Bible study, and then my mom went to the Bible study, and the next time she went, I told her I was going with her, and then I accepted Jesus into my life. So honestly, it was kind of a whirlwind there that I told her that I would go with her, and it was just such an interesting thing to happen that God used that circumstance and that situation to bring us to church. So I think that was really cool. But as a 14-year-old, I just wanted something better. And I accepted Jesus because I knew and I could feel the love that even the people in the church had, but just that knowing and realizing that how much better that he had for us, and that we deserved so much better than what we had already in the quality of life. And that just felt like a no-brainer. It was trading my nothing for everything, and that just seemed like the best deal in the world to me. So after we became Christian, I ended up going to an online school for a semester until we could get into our new school. And after we became Christian and we got a fresh start somewhere, the problems didn't stop. It's just it shifted a little bit, because we still lived in the same city, so those same toxic people were still trying to linger around. And it got better after we grew and we kind of learned more about our worth and what God has for us, and we wanted to have better for ourselves, and we started setting those boundaries and really working towards having a better life. So honestly, I'm so grateful for that whole process. Again, becoming Christian doesn't fix the problem. It just shifts your perspective and shifts your values and what you know you deserve for your life. And I just think that was the biggest thing for our family, because everyone accepted Jesus at that point. We were all called to change our lives, and it was just, honestly, it was incredible. But something that I still face today is that, and what I went through in the past is, no matter what, I always felt so alone, because no one understood what I went through. No one understood, what I was feeling or any of that, or how they could help me. So, and I knew that. And I just started pulling away from everybody. And that started, honestly, at quite an early age. That was in elementary or middle school. Anyways, where I just started pulling away from people and being very disassociated and disconnected from everyone. And of course, I had friends and people that I would hang out with, but there was no deep formed, connections. And that has affected me to this very point, all through even high school. I didn't even go to my grade 12 prom because, what we were facing, I didn't feel anyone could understand it, and I just had bigger problems on my hand. So, I just didn't go. We didn't have the money to get a dress. I didn't have the money for the ticket. We were going through a court case at the time to help, protect my younger brother and try to move to Ontario. And God came through, because obviously we moved to Ontario from BC. So honestly, that's even a whole other story that I can tell you about. It was God definitely pulling through, because there were so many different things working against us at that point. Something that, even as we became Christian, that it was so hard for me to form connections to people. I just feel like I couldn't make friends. Nobody cared. I wasn't like anybody else because of what I'd gone through. I would say more mature than most people, just because I've had to feel like a grown up for so much longer. But anyways, on this past Sunday, the pastor was talking about how the enemy will usually only have a few tactics to use against us to try to bring us down. And me feeling alone, that is something that the enemy has brought against me time and time again, and it keeps hitting me and bringing me to my knees, when he said that the devil isn't very creative. He only uses the same couple things. Like, he's not creating new ways. It's usually the same couple things that he tries to hit you with. And then I realized that is so true. So he says, if you know what the devil is going to hit you with, why don't you try to prepare for it? Because you can protect yourself, guard yourself, and prepare for that moment when he does try to hit you. And honestly, when those points come, then you can totally fight it and you can totally battle that. I know that I'm already not alone. Because honestly, for one, Jesus is always with me. And even with all those times of me feeling alone, like we didn't have people, just because we've moved so much, we've had so many resets and startovers, it's just, I know that Jesus is always there with me. Anytime I needed somebody to talk to, anyone, like, just to have a shoulder to cry on, Jesus has been there for me, and I honestly wouldn't have it any other way. It has really built my dependency on him, and knowing that no matter what I'm going through, no matter if you feel like a failure, or you're a nobody, or things aren't working for you, or things are going well for you, any of those things, Jesus is always there. He wants to celebrate with you. He wants to cry with you. He wants to sit there with you. He wants to comfort you. And he wants to give you a promise of your hope and your future. And you know what? He invested in that. So I just think it's the most amazing thing that for me to be able to experience that even in my lowest moments, that I know that he was always there. And that's just something that I can say that I definitely know that he has been, because I've been alone for a long time. But anyways, I'm going to finish up the rest of my food here, and then we're going to go for a little bit of walk. Well, you guys, I really should have brought mittens. It is cold out. But anyways, I wanted to finish up what I was saying, is that with my testimony, I've been hit with so many difficult things. And again, Pastor was saying is that the devil would not have hit you, the enemy would not have hit you that hard if you were, not going to do something. The reason why he is because he's scared of you, and he sees you as a threat. And you just feel like you've been taking hit after hit, because you know what, that just means God has something amazing for you. It's like when you hear of these people who are changing the world and things with their passion for Jesus and their mission and their convictions that they have, and they're just going out there and giving it all they got, usually it's because of a story of they were hit so hard with things, whether they've overcome massive obstacles and things. That's usually what has happened. The enemy goes after you is because he knows what you're going to do for God, and he knows how many people and lives you're going to change. He knows how many lives you're going to change. So take heart. And honestly, I know it doesn't feel like it sometimes, but kind of have that pride. The enemy would not have attacked you as hard as he did if you weren't worth anything. If you're going through something right now that is, painful or very difficult, and you feel like everything's just against you, honestly, just take heart. I know how many times where you feel alone and you feel like everything's against you, and you're like, why, God, is this happening to me? But then you realize that the enemy is just trying to stop you from everything that God has planned for you and your greatness. Anyways, I was walking out there and my phone died. So anyways, now that I'm more warm and cozy, my fingers were getting so cold that I couldn't even touch the screen anymore, and it wouldn't even pick it up. Anyways, what I was saying is that the enemy has already lost. We have already seen that victory, and we need to walk and own that truth, because Jesus has already won that for us. And just know that whatever you face, the enemy's already underneath your feet. We know how the story ends. We have the victory, and we can trust in that truth. So no matter what you're going through, just remember that. And I know it's sometimes hard to really believe that you're winning when you feel like everything around you is chaos, but I just wanted to really encourage you, keep faith, knowing that God is so good and that he's going to carry you through those storms, and because he's already worked out that plan and that victory for you. So keep going in what you're doing, and I would love to pray for you right now, so if you'd like to join me. God, thank you for this amazing and beautiful person with me today. I just thank you that you brought them here so we can connect, God. And I thank you for being able to share our or stories, God, because how powerful they are. And I thank you so much for this person and everything that they've gone through, because it's made them the person that they are today. And I just trust that you have a plan for their life, God. And I just know that the enemy is coming at them with all that they can, trying to bring them down because he sees them as a threat, God. But you know the plans you have for them, God. So let them be strong and trust in you, God, and just know that they have such a bright future with you. And even when it isn't easy, God, I just pray that they'll turn to you and trust and find refuge in you, even in those tough days, God, because the enemy will do anything he can do to try to drag them down, but you won't let that happen. And sometimes, God, I know it's hard for us to see our future because you don't always reveal that to us, God, but the enemy knows what we're capable of. With you, anything is possible, and your plans for us are great. So God, whether we are walking through darkness or through light, God, or troubled waters, God, I know that you'll be right by our sides through all of this, and that we can trust you in your perfect will and your wonderful purpose that you have for our lives, God. So I just pray that you'll be a comfort in time of need, God, a shoulder to cry on when we need it. Give us the ear to listen and to be able to feel your presence with us. Hope they have an amazing rest of their night, God, and have your peace with you. Amen. So have a fantastic rest of your day, and see you next time.